So now everyone knows that the Black Lives Matter stuff and what's happened with George Floyd. We've protested now. We've signed petitions. They've taken down many monuments and statues and whatnot of whatever they say, slave owners or people that used to deal with slavery or profit of slavery. But what I think is what we have never really thought about is what we can actually do for ourselves to help our economy grow ourselves. Not what the legislation can do or what law can be passed, but like what can we do as a people to help ourselves and to help our economy to grow. Just like back in the day when they used to say the Black Wall Street, they used to buy from each other, they used to make sure that the dollar stays within the community at least 10 times before he leaves. What can we do now for that to happen? What do you think, yeah?
Well, I think we need to start supporting each other. So I don't think we support each other as much. Like if you look at like the Asians and Indians and mainly the Asians, they literally work together as a group. And my issue is I think as a whole, the Black community, we're not very good at supporting each other, and we're not very good at like uplifting each other and doing the best to make sure like the money stays within our community. Like we're so quick to spend money elsewhere, but we're not very quick. We're not. Like for example, I guess because people don't associate us with professionalism and just being efficient. So even you as a Black person, if you're getting your house done, you would rather go for a white person or Portuguese person, whoever you would trust more than a fellow Black person. And that in itself is a problem. And I think us as a community, we do need to fix up. I think we need to educate ourselves in the sense of we need to be more, just be more aware of being more punctual. That's one. Be more, thinking of quality when we're doing things, like make sure things are done properly and have some element of professionalism. I think that's the things that really draw us back. And this is why within ourselves, nobody wants to actually spend money with Black people.
Okay, so from what you're saying, what I'm understanding, you're saying that Black people should move a bit more like the Asian community, as in the way they're always together and do things and help each other out and build different businesses and build it. But now my question to you actually to every female, do you not all agree with that first of all?
I think so. I do agree, but I think obviously just to touch on that, I think obviously with the Black community, the massive problem is that there is a sense of like distrust within the community because we don't trust ourselves with our own businesses and stuff like that. Like I wouldn't really, not like I wouldn't trust, just in generally speaking, we wouldn't really trust our own people to do the job, to get the job done. And then also we need to consider that Black people, we don't have that sense of professionalism as well. That's a problem. So of course, if we don't have that, then we're not going to trust somebody, a Black person, to do the job because one, they're not professional. Two, they can show up like 10 hours later. Do you know what I mean? We don't have that. So people just look at that and be like, I can't really trust, I can't give them my money.
Okay. What do you think?
Exactly, literally what you both said. Literally, from what you said, in terms of actually, your question was, how do we resolve the problem, which is trying to resolve the issue which within the Black community in itself, which with like Black businesses, how do we make the Black community strive? What you said as well is that we do need to be more enforced when it comes to certain things like businesses. But from what you said, which obviously correlates with what Yar said, I really agree with what you said. The trust is not there at all, and that's the truth. Most of the time, from my experiences, I won't say that I'm not trying to put something out there. From my experiences, from people I've seen, people tend to see Black business trying to look out for themselves rather than them doing something for everyone. So when they bring out a business, when they bring out something, it's like they feel like, oh no, this person's just doing it for themselves so that they can strive for themselves. So I'm not gonna attempt to entertain this scenario.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So what do you think, Rachel?
I do agree with Nigel, to be honest, because if you think of it this way, if there's a lot of greed and people chasing power and money, obviously no one wants to kind of share something with other people. You want it for yourself, and the community we live in, a lot of black people want something for themselves. They're not really doing it to be generous to other people and be like, you know what, let me build my community. If all of us were to kind of, you know, pack our bags and go back to Africa, we could actually help develop the community. But the reality is, many of us actually willing to do that?
One man for
if you look at
themselves.
so it becomes a thing of one man for themselves. Okay, what can I do for myself? And once sometimes people get money, mostly black people get money, or they're in positions of power, the greed gets the best of them. And then they don't think about, where am I coming from? What can I do for the people who've helped me get to where I am? And that's how I actually see us as developing the community. But not a lot of people have that mindset and they want to do. You know, they say that, you know, whatever you're blessed with is not for you, it's for you to bless other people. But how many of us are blessing other people? Are we just indulging and enjoying and living your best life?
Just to touch on that, I think there's also a level of like enviness, because a lot of black people just don't want to see other black people do good. Like, remember the example, this girl that came on Twitter, I think she tweeted about making a certain amount of money a year. And like, people are just bashing this girl, like, are you like, you can learn something from her, do you know what I mean? So that scenario right there just kind of like shows black people, boy, we're just envy people. We can be selfish, we can be greedy, we can be just envious about our own kind. That's...
But we need to be able to acknowledge and own that. Not a lot of black people willing to own that, okay, it's just me being envious of this person, but what can I take from this person and learn and better where I'm at, so I can also be wherever that person's at.
Okay, so comes back to the point that Yah made. Yah made a point saying that in the Asian community, we need to somehow kind of look the way they're doing their thing. But what I think is, I don't think it's right to compare the Asian community to the black community, because number one, the Asian community and the black community, we have two different type of values. In the Asian community, a family of, let's say, the mom, dad, their kids, let's say they have sons. The sons, let's say they have 3 sons or 2 sons. Their wives, normally, they will move into the family home, which is all part of why they're able to save money and to open businesses and stuff like that. So now, you got to think about it like this. As a woman, would you be able to go and live in a house here with your husband, his brother and his wife, and his other brother and his wife, with your mother-in-law and her husband?
Say what race what race is she?
One second.
As a black person.
So that's what I'm saying. So are you able to... And also, another thing I believe is the success in the Asian community as well, I believe, mainly stems from women being very submissive. Meaning, no, wait, let me explain to you what I mean by that. When I say very submissive, I mean, they're not submissive as in they're forcing them to do something, but they listen more to their spouse. Because, for example, the Asian, or their parents, or their parents as well. That's got any correlation. It has. Because
I don't think it's a cultural thing. I think it's just when Yah made the comment, and like personally, from my view anyway, like relating the Asian community to the black community, it's not a cultural comparison, but it's more like their work ethic and their mentality wise. That's what I mean when I talk about black people versus the Asian community, because the black people mentality is like, oh, one man for themselves, like Rachel said. But then Asian community is just more like, okay, I can bring my brother in, I can bring my brother's friends, whoever it is. It's the work ethic. It's not the cultural aspects of it. It's just the work ethic, their mentality. It's how they think.
Well, let me finish my point.
It's okay. It's okay if I just speak for this point, just for this specific point. What he's trying to say is that with the Asian community, there is no one man for themselves. There is a family. Let's say you right now go to your husband. You have a child. Is you as a unit. Do you understand? As your ethnicity is Asian, you go to your cousin, you go to your uncle, and you keep every single thing that you lot do within the family. So when your child is born and they go up, they go to university, they get a job, they do all that stuff, they find a wife. Even a wife that they find, or the spouse they find, is still within the community. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So it still comes back. Every single money still comes back. Every single thing that when we go to the corner shop, we buy stuff that is going within their community. We don't go to, we can see a Ghanaian shop. We can see it. We only go there for plantain. We don't go there for water. We don't go there for tissue. They sell tissue, they sell water, man. They sell all these products, but we don't do that. And we can say what you're saying is correct. Like I already said, this is true. This is a fact that we have embedded within us, that when we see black people sometimes, it's like each man for themselves. But when we see another culture thriving, it's like,
Yeah, but that's
why
the
are they
fact,
thriving?
that's the reality.
No, but that comes back to my point where I said the reason why. Now hold on, that's what I said. Listen, let me explain. You're not trying to listen to the point. Let me finish it. The reason why I'm putting women into this here, because everybody knows a household. Who holds the household? A man pays the bills, whatnot, blah blah.
Yeah,
but a household is a woman that holds the household. And in any house where a woman always understands, or not understands, but like kind of like listens to their husband and stuff like that, the household is way more easier because there's no argument that much. I'm not saying you have to agree with your husband and everything you're saying, but I'm saying in the Asian community, their women have been taught that if my husband says we're staying in my family's house, they're gonna come and stay there. They can't say that, nah, I need to move out. I need my own house. We need to go and buy a house now. Blah blah blah. They don't do that. They will not give that pressure. But for example, right now, if you marry in the black community, when you marry, they're already expecting you to buy a house in the first year. And within that same year, they want you to also have a child on top of that. You have car, all of them things there. You have a child on top of that. Let's say you have a girl. They're still trying to pressure you. You have another one. When are you going to have a boy? When are you have this? So they're trying to let you do so many things in 5 years. You can't do it because you're paying rent or mortgage. You're paying for a child. You're paying for a car. You're paying for this. But now the Asian community, they're living under one roof in a 6-bedroom house with 3 different families. Think about it. The rent is divided. Okay, let's say the women are not working fully, or they're doing part-time, or some are not working. There's, let's say, 5 men in the house that are working full-time jobs. Imagine them splitting that house rent and the bills. That's little. Now, imagine the money that they save for themselves now. Yeah. Now, imagine the money that they also save together in the family to maybe get another house so that that person can move out, so that their little brother that's about to get married can feel like, for example, I know someone, my driving instructor, his son is buying a yard because he's getting married. But the yard he's buying, he's moving out of his house that he's bought and he's moving into that house as well. Why? Do you get it? Why is he moving out of his own house and going into that house? Because they're all going to stay in that house together, probably rent out that old house, yeah? Save or help the son to pay for that house that he's got now. When they finish paying for that, they have a little son that's coming up as well, you know. He's obviously going to marry as well. He could probably, they could probably then give him money or borrow him money or give him something for him to get his house now, save up, when he gets the money, pay them back. But in our community, we don't have that patience. Everyone, as soon as I'm 19, I'm trying to move out. I'm trying to live in Pontoon Dock, pay 1,800 rent.
Business though, black.
It has to do with business, because now let me get to the business part of it. So now, because there's so much money being saved now, because women are more understanding and women are more, do you get it? They're more understanding, they're all in the same house and there's less argument, there's money being saved. So now they're able to now open a shop as a family together. Now.
Wait, because you've tracked onwards, go back to the thing, what he's saying. His original point was that the reason why people that are not, why the black culture in itself, there are other places, people that we can associate ourselves with, let's say, such as Asian culture. Obviously, every single thing he said, that's the reason why they are able to save money to open shops.
Yeah.
Do you get
right,
it?
Yeah.
Now continue.
There's some black households. There's 5 people in the house. There's 4 cars. There's 4 BMWs. Okay, yeah, maybe you have the money to do it. What? Yeah. But why do 5 people that live in the same house need 4 cars?
It's true. On that point, I do agree.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I do agree with that. Yeah, I feel like sometimes black people, we can have our priorities completely
mixed. But
in
the Asian house, I know one. I used to live next to one guy as a mechanic. In his house, obviously his family are a bit wealthy, innit? But in his house, there's 8 cars. Anyone can drive any. Apart from obviously the one whip that his dad said, nah, this is my personal car. But they can drive any car that's there. 8 of them. There's 8 cars. Obviously, there is a big, and they don't live in a little house. Now, I've been to his yacht, like, they live in a big house, 8-bedroom. And do you get it? His brother's married. His brother, one above him, is married as well. Now it's him, he's next. They all live in the same house. There's 8 cars. Their wives use it. He uses it. his brothers, everyone can use. You understand?
Wow.
See, so that helps them to
True.
save money and grow more money.
It's togetherness though. Like,
It's togetherness, but we don't have that.
She says she love me, but I can't love her. She says she wants me, but I can't hug her. I just get this money, then I get away. Because I gotta get this money, gotta get this cake. Hey, she says she want me, but I can't hug her.